This video is sponsored by Sterling Insurance.
Today we're putting windows in our DIY camper. You do look a lot more tanned.
Yeah, I know.
Will's just been on holiday for a week. I didn't go with him.
Yeah, we look almost the same shade now.
We actually do. Welcome back to Van Conversion 101, the video series where we show you how to convert a van from start to finish.
In our last video, we were installing some of the components on the roof, so that included our skylight, our aircon unit, and our little Maxxfan Dome over the shower as well.
Yeah, so if you want to go check that out, there'll be a link on the screen and also a link in the description down below.
In this video, we're going to be installing two windows. They're a little bit different, so we're going to be showing you the process, what to do, and more importantly, what not to do. Anyway, here are the tools that you're going to need in this stage of the build.
If you don't already know, we're doing this van conversion over on Instagram and TikTok as well, so if you don't already follow us on there, then make sure to go check those out. We also have a van cat who's very cute. If you don't like the van conversion content,
You can stay for the cute kitty content.
yes. Yeah. I'm going to walk through where our windows are actually going with the help of our model as well. So you might have seen us actually make this model and go through the steps of doing that in a previous video. I'll link that up at the top somewhere as well if you want to watch that. But yeah, so in our model we've got two windows. We've got one big one which goes on our side door, our side sliding door. So we've got a ton of insulation there, which we're getting onto in a bit. Our other window is slightly smaller and it's going in this panel up here. There's a couple of different reasons why we decided to go for this layout in terms of windows. The first being that we didn't want any side windows in our bedroom area, just because we like our bedroom to feel like more of an enclosed space. And we had this in our old van as well. And it just felt so cozy. I don't know, like it doesn't feel exposed, like if you're parked in a city or something, like no one can stare into your bedroom. We've got a skylight in the back, so we felt we didn't need any windows on the side either because of that. The other reason is for this window, it will be above the kitchen area and the stove will be over here. So we can open up the window and make sure that there's enough sort of ventilation for anything that we're cooking, that sort of stuff. So this will be an opening window. The one on the sliding door, in our design, that ends up being the most appropriate space for another window, but also it is right in front of our seating area, which is here. So yeah, hopefully we can stare outside at the lovely views or at a car park, depending on where we are. So we're going to cut the hole for our passenger side window. We've unboxed the window itself. It's one that we got from Van Pimps.
It's a tinted window. It's not one that opens and it goes on the sliding door, which is the same thing that we had last time. So the process of cutting the hole for this window should be quite simple. As you can see, we've got a dust sheet laid out outside and we've also got some cardboard taped to the side of the van just to protect it from any kind of hot metal bits of swarf that come off.
So
we're going to do the same thing on the inside in a second as well.
also, I'm not gonna lie, I am really struggling today. My hay fever is really bad. I've got lots on.
Which is so weird, the hay fever thing, because we're at the workshop, which is an industrial area. There's no plants anywhere around here.
Have been sneezing every 5 seconds.
We've made it a good minute into this video so far. That's good.
So yeah, now we're gonna start making the hole in our van. This part is kind of scary, but I remember last time it actually went quite smoothly. But
Let's say it. It's usually
we'll
music.
see.
Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is drill out a load of small holes going around the corners, just to mark those out. The windows on the sliding door are usually quite easy. Once you've marked out the corners, these straight lines, what you can do is just use this inner edge to guide the jigsaw up the straight line. The only other challenge that we have with this van that we didn't have with the last one is that you see we've got this ribbing on the inside, which kind of attaches to this inner edge, so we are going to have to cut through that as well. Normally with windows on the side, so as you can see you've got these ribs here, what we would probably do is cut these beforehand with an angle grinder. Because these ones go around the corner and they are a little bit more intricate, I'm going to try and do 2 layers at once with the jigsaw, just see how that works. If it doesn't work, then we can always angle grind them off instead.
We finished drilling holes all around the corners of where the window's going to be. And now we're going to go in with the jigsaw.
Oh yeah, the one thing we do have to do, so all of these holes, as you can see, they're probably not big enough for a jigsaw blade to go around, so I'm just going to make a little line. I'm going to do a couple more holes, probably up here, actually, so that we can get the jigsaw blade through, start cutting. Oh, we also need to tape the outside. That's what we're going to do now.
Yeah. We are going to tape the outside of the window. We've got some automotive masking tape here. If you try and use other tapes, they can get a bit hot and sticky. So they're a little bit difficult to remove afterwards, which is why this is probably the best thing to get. This was from Halfords.
We're going to go and do the main jigsaw cut now. So I bought these jigsaw blades, which are specifically for cutting metal. As you can see, they've got a nice fine tooth pattern. The only other point to make about these is that they are a T-shank bit. So as you can see, this top section has kind of a cross on it. The older version of this is called a U-shank. It's worth making sure that your jigsaw can work with the ones that you've got. T-shanks in general, I think, are a little bit better. There's less chance of them coming out. But regardless, U-shanks work well too. I think most jigsaws will now work with both. But again, T-shank if you can.
So we've got our hole, we put Hammerite on and left it for about an hour so that it dries. And now we're going to put on, like this, what is this called?
This is, what is it, knock-on something.
Oh God, that's so bright.
U-trim. It normally comes with it. This one didn't actually, we bought this separately.
But yeah, oh, it normally comes in the kit with it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, you just
go around the bare metal and stick that on. Let's try and get it. This obviously means that you don't have a bare metal edge, which is nice. I think we'll end up covering this with a wooden frame anyway.
I mean, you'll cover pretty much everything on the inside, won't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it doesn't need to be perfect, but Will is a bit of a perfectionist.
Look, I was just
which
making
is why everything
sure.
takes 20 years to do. Will's mad at me because I made this little tiny splodge over here. And that's what I mean when I say he's a perfectionist, because it won't show up.
But why would you go there? Why did you put it there?
It was an accident. Accidents happen.
And yep, accidents did indeed happen. And while it really sucked, it did give us a chance to show you guys how to take off a bonded window. So if you want to see that, then the link will be on the screen now.
How's it going?
Much better than last time. I think heating the stuff up before makes it so much easier to squeeze out of this tube.
Yeah, it looks like a way thicker line.
Yeah, and following the advice of ChatGPT, actually, if you keep this nozzle as vertically as you possibly can to the surface, you see you get this nice like triangular bead, and it's stuck out quite far from the metal, which means when you do push on the window, it's going to contact all the way along this line, which is what didn't happen last time, and it's why we had a load of holes. All right, it's been a couple of days, everything's dry, and it's looking pretty good, I think. It's been on securely, we've obviously driven home with it, so it's staying on fine. We've got this nice continuous 3mm gap all along the bottom, which is why you might have seen those little bits of cardboard that we stuck under while the adhesive was drying. So I'm just going to do one more quick leak test just to make sure that it's all fine. Yeah. Left it a couple of minutes just to make sure, but yeah, we're looking good, we're looking dry, much better.
So we're installing windows and hoping that we can see some beautiful landscapes and different countries through them. This is something that we did in our old van, and we went to a bunch of different places. We went to Scotland, we did Scandinavia, Spain, Portugal, the mountains in Italy, so many amazing landscapes and things that you want to see out of your camper van window. And none of this would have been possible without our sponsor today, Sterling Insurance. We've been with them for over 2 years now. Some of the best things about them are the fact that they offer cover for a year in Europe. Yeah. This is something that is pretty hard to find with other insurance companies, and one of the reasons why we love them so much. And the other thing that I wanted to mention is that they cover you whilst you're converting. Yeah. So it's great for us right now. Sterling offer policies for all sorts of weird and wonderful conversions, so whatever your project looks like and whatever stage you're at,
they've got a policy for you.
They also make it super easy to check all your details through a My Sterling online account, and their claims hotline is open 24/7, which is extremely useful when you're living and traveling in your van full time. Your van is your home and you want to make sure you have the highest protection on it.
You can also add a load of optional extras to your policy, like breakdown cover, cover for things like your camping gear, and cover for European trips for 90 days or even longer.
So if you're converting a van or are interested in doing something like this, then definitely go check them out. There is a link in our description down below.
This is the window that is going to go over our kitchen area, so it's just going to go about here. This is the Adventurer R&D, the 700 by 400mm version. So this is a motorhome style window rather than a standard bonded van window. The main difference is that once you've cut the hole and you put your adhesive on, you also have this inner section here. So the way it's going to work is this part of the window will come through. You'll then have this, which sits on top, and you screw the two together so it sandwiches the van body in between, makes sure that it's nice and tight, and obviously you'll get all of your sealant on the outer edge of this window, just squeeze out and make a nice watertight seal. Other reasons that we went for this window, so the one that we had last time was a universal van window, which had like a halfway opening. We thought that this time we were going to go for one with a safari opening, so you'll see in a minute that this opens all the way up like that. So again, a little bit more ventilation, a little bit of a nicer view out from the window. The other reason why windows like this are quite good, especially for van conversions, is that there's a very slight, I don't know if you can see it, but there's a slight curve to it. So because the outside of the van body is slightly curved, this should fit nicely up against it. Whereas our last window, because it was completely flat, you ended up with the top and the bottom of the window being a little bit further off from the van body than the sides of it, if that makes sense. So yeah, hopefully this should be a nice, easy installation process.
Don't say it.
So we just tried to hold the window up and just like mark on where we need to cut out, but it's really difficult to get a pencil round to like the inner side. So we're just doing like a drawn on template instead. It should be quite straightforward, this, because the cutout that you need is exactly the size of window that's advertised. So for us, that's 400mm depth by 700mm wide. And then what we can do is just draw on the rounded corners, and it should hopefully fit perfectly.
While Will is drawing on our window shape, I thought I would entertain you by telling you a fun fact of the day. I've been telling Will and he's getting annoyed with me, I think. I found out that the blue whale is actually the biggest animal to ever have existed, which maybe everyone is like, oh yeah, I knew that already, but I didn't know that. I thought that there definitely would have been a bigger animal at some point. So we have our hole. Looks very much like the hole that we did for our other window.
Yeah, it's pretty much in exactly the same place, isn't it? We have filed around the edge, we've given it a little clean up with some white spirit, and now we're going to go around and apply some Hammerite rust-proof paint, and then we can wait for that to dry and stick the window on. Just before we pop the window in, I need to make a very quick wooden frame to go around the outside of it. Basically, when we showed you before the outside of the window and the bracket, which sandwich together, there's about 2 centimeters between those. So if you've got a van that somehow has a 2 centimeter thick wall, you won't need to do this at all. But I'm just going to make a very quick 4 pieces of wood, basically, to put in between the window and the bracket. So then when you screw it together, you get this wood pushing against the inside of the van wall and sandwiching that window onto the outside. I've got 4 little bits of wood. I'm just using 12mm ply. 2 bits are going to be 700 plus 24, and the other 2 are going to be 400 for the sides. And I'm just going to cut them to the correct width now and then screw them together, and then we can sandwich the window on. So this part is definitely unnecessary. You can just do a frame with 4 straight little bits of wood. But if you want to be a bit anal about it like me, what you can do is try to trace out the curve of this panel. So the point that we made about the window is that it's very slightly curved so that it fits perfectly all around the edge on the side of the van body, because there's a slight curve to it. So I'm going to do the same thing on the inside. I'm going to just use my scribe tool to sketch on the curve correctly, cut it with a jigsaw, and then this piece of wood will sit perfectly flush against the metal.
We're going to put the window in now. We've heated up the Master Bond.
We're using the same stuff as last time. For a motorhome style window, you don't need a proper window bond like this one. You just need a sealant and adhesive, because then when you put the bracket on the inside and you screw the two of them together, it sandwiches the window in place. So that's where the strength is coming from. We're just using this because it's still an adhesive and sealant. It's just a little bit more heavy duty, and we had a tube of it left over. All right, the window's been pushed in. Mirror is on the other side, just holding it up. We're going to put the frame around the outside, just like that. There we go. I've just had to edit the corner slightly, because otherwise it would go up into this bit where the metal starts to come out again. But anyway, that is going to sit on around the frame like that, and then we're just going to pop this bracket on and screw it into place, and the two parts are going to sandwich together, and yeah, then all the sealant will splooge out and we can go clean it up from the other side.
All right, so we've got both of our windows in. We've got the big one over here, which is really nice. This one doesn't open, but it's the same one that we had in our old van. We really liked the fact that it was so big and lets in a lot of light. And then we've also got this one on the side, which is a little bit smaller and actually does open, which is quite nice. It opens a lot more than our last van's window. That is pretty much it for the windows. We've kind of done most of the things outside now. We've just got the roof deck and solar panels to put on,
which I'm procrastinating over. We are working on like a couple of jobs at the same time now, so the next video will either be us insulating the whole van and doing the floor, or it'll be the roof deck and the tilting solar panels, whichever we kind of get finished first.
We hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, it would be great if you could like, comment and subscribe.
If there are any topics that you want to see us cover or any questions that you want to ask, then please do leave them in the comments.